Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Monday, December the 16th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary video brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. Want to first start off by taking a look to see how the indices closed the session out here for the day. Today was a pretty interesting day as we had the markets sell off overnight when the overnight around midnight. Of course, the market opened up flat a little bit around Sunday, around 6 p.m., but then around 12 o'clock at night, we started selling off. And then we were able to bounce right back up around 3 when the European markets opened up and they came out with, I believe, a positive PMI over there overseas. So, how did that affect the U.S. markets? Well, the U.S. markets gapped up a little bit off of that news, and we were able to trade to the top side a little bit. We did break above last week Thursday's overnight high around 1784 on the ES, but we were not able to hold above it. We ended up hitting some resistance around 1786 on the S&P 500 futures, and then we had a little bit of selling pressure at the end of the day. But overall, the markets were able to hold their gains today. So let's go ahead and break down the charts and look at what's going on here. Taking a look at the SPY, the S&P. Well, actually, let's go ahead and take a look at the indices closed here. The Dow closed up 129 points. The Nasdaq closed up 28.5 points. The S&P 500 closed up. One second here. The S&P 500 closed up 11 points, and then you have the Russell 2000 via the IWM closed up $1.31 here. So looking at the breadth, we had 4,499 issues advancing on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and the AMEX. We had 1,838 issues declining on the NYSE, NASDAQ, and the AMEX. So breadth was in favor of the bulls today. Pretty close to a 4-to-1 ratio there. So there's a lot of people that came in the market today looking to buy this little dip we had, or to buy that little positive momentum we had from the overnight rally off the lows there. So how did that translate into the markets? Let's go ahead and take a look. Starting off with the S&P 500, the SPY ETF closed up $1.10 here, up 0.62%. Again, we came down there to that 177.55 level prior resistance. We broke out, so now support. We gapped above Friday's high. We gapped above Thursday's highs, and we were able to hold above this 179 level. We did get rejected a little bit at this 20-day simple moving average here around 179.86. However, if we can hold 179 going forward for tomorrow, we could most likely probably get another positive day back up, as there are some people out there looking to buy equities today. Bullish action across the board. I mean, you have IBM, a beaten down stock that was up close to 3% today. Cisco, beaten down stock, up 2%. WDC had some action today in the tech sector, up 3.25%. JBL up 3%. And then when you turn into the energy space, ExxonMobil up 2%. FTI, CAM up close to 3%. Devon Energy, natural gas stock up 2%. You had some positive action in WMB up 3%. So there's definitely some decent action out there, some action in industrial goods. Let's see, financials were a little bit flat, and then some of the tech stocks that we like to look at on a day-to-day basis were flat. Google up 1% today. So again, interesting markets. Things are kind of quiet now that we're going to be going into the Christmas week, next week, holiday week, starting on Tuesday. So you have to expect volume to slow down a little bit here, and that kind of was the situation today. Even though we had some decent volume that came in there around, started coming back in around, let's say, around 315 or so. As far as the SPY goes, the S&P 500 ETF here, you want to keep an eye on the 179 level. Then you want to keep an eye on this 179.87, call it 180 level. If we could break above 180, we should see it move back up towards 181. We break below 179, you want to look for some gap fill action back towards Friday's opening price there. All right, and then you can see how the ES looks from the overnight session. All right, give me 1 second. Let me just fix this real quick. All right, and then you can see from the ES overnight session, you can see we flashed all the way to a low on the ES of 1753.71. We were able to close back above that key 1770 level. So a nice little shakeout right here. We'll see if that sticks. Taking a look at the triple Q, the Nasdaq 100 up 47 cents today, up 0.5%. A little funky looking candlesticks here. Again, we had like these little dojis last week, Thursday and Friday, unless that's a mistake like they had before, which I don't think it is. But we had some dojis here last week, Thursday and Friday, and then we had a little gap up today that rallied up that was not able to hold its gains and got faded right back down on the Nasdaq 100. You can see we're still holding the 20-day moving average right there around 84, 82, the 20-day simple and exponential moving average. And these candlesticks are incorrect. They should look like this here. Give me 1 second. I'm not sure why Thinkorswim's platform is acting up on some of these candlesticks here. But if you take a look at the screen here, it should look like this for the triple Qs, two red candlesticks there. So I'm pretty sure they're probably going to fix that by the end of the week here or something. But based on today's action, gap up, rallied up, closing near the lower part of the range there. Again, still above this rising moving average. If we can continue to hold above this 85 level, that would be good. We'll be looking for a move back up towards 86.53, this range. If we break below 85, then we take out last week Friday's lows and hold below this 84, 82 level. Then we'll be expecting to pull back back towards the main low I told you guys to watch. If we pull back some more, which is right here at this key 84 level from this prior resistance, we broke out, so it now should act as support down there. Looking at the IWM, the Russell 2000. Just going to take a look at these key indices here real quick, then we'll take a look at some stocks. Just trying to make this a short video. IWM, nice little bounce off that 50-day moving average. We talked about this in the weekend review video, and last week Friday, how every time we came to this 50-day moving average on the daily, you got like a nice little bounce there. So we got a bounce right now. We have to watch this little downtrend line that's going to be coming into play right here, slightly above today's highs on the IWM, say around 111, looks to be maybe say 111.70 or so, or better yet, you want to watch this 112 level. But those are going to be the levels to watch for tomorrow. If we break below today's low, then you want to watch these lower levels down here around say 109, 109 and a quarter. But so far, this IWM could get a nice little move back up, a little possible downward bullish channel in play right here, as you can see. If we get back above this 112 level, we get back above that 50% trend line from the big channel, we can see a nice move back up here towards 113. Keep an eye out for that if they decide to buy equities this week, going into the holiday week next week. Let's see here. I'm not really going to go over the commodities, but I would say that we did have a nice little bid in gold today. Just bring over my little commodity screen here. We had a nice little bid in gold futures today here. You can see the 5-day, 15-minute chart. This is a nice little bull flag off of the lows from the overnight session that broke out around 10:15, giving a nice move in gold. All right, mentioned that for a quick second in our chat room, mywallstreettv.com. If you have not been to that chat room yet, check it out. It's pretty good. We've got a lot of great information, a lot of great traders in the room providing some good information. Silver, nice move today in silver, up 2%. I've mentioned the fact that silver is trading stronger than gold a little bit from what I'm seeing, so keep an eye on the silver and some of those silver miners. But silver, same thing here. Bull flag this morning that broke out, another flag right here broke out, and then it faded back down a bit. But bullish action in the metals. The VIX, you have to keep a close eye on this VIX. The markets, have been holding steady, but yet you're seeing a nice little bid in the VIX. All right, and this is just by looking at the VXX, but you're seeing some people going out there and buying volatility. It means they're protecting their position if they're long, they have a long portfolio. And we're seeing the VIX hold a bid with the markets holding a bid as well. That's a little bit that's a little bit of a red flag right there, or something to be on the lookout for, because that could be telling us that people are expecting the market to pull back a little bit. So keep an eye on that VIX. Really wouldn't get too concerned on the volatility index until it gets above say 20, maybe 21, 22. Crude oil, sold off overnight a little bit, then it bounced off of this 96.21 level. You can see it rallied up here for most of the session today. All right, so let me bring back my other charts back here now. So that's about it for the commodities. We'll take a look at some of those daily charts in the commodities tomorrow. But just know they traded pretty good today. They're up across the board. Copper is really starting to show some nice strength. So if copper is showing some strength, you want to take a look at some of these miners and some of these gold, these precious metal companies like FCX and SCCO. But GDX is holding steady here, guys, around this 21 area. Again, if it could get above 21 and hold, we like it. Could get a nice little bounce up. It's coming back into the 2008 5-year support levels there. So we're looking at some of those gold miner names, gold mining names, excuse me. I talked about a couple of them before. Same thing for the silver miners. PAAS continues to be the name that I like. You can see it held up pretty well. It has a nice little breakout if it could get over 1125. Still looking for that volume to come in. It has 3 consecutive higher closes down there. Then SLW, another name you can watch if you're looking for a silver miner. You can see this thing's about to break. This stock's about to break the little downtrend line right here. It's coming right to the little downtrend line, forming higher lows. Looks pretty good. A little upward channel starting to develop right there. So keep an eye on that name as well. Then you have ABX, which looks pretty good. Nice little short-term bottom you could be putting in right here. Again, these names I think could get a nice little 5% or 10% bounce off these levels down here. So you want to keep them on your radar. ABX, AEM, GG, which is usually a household name that investors try to buy when they're expecting the gold prices to go up. Or Newmont Mining, another key name you can watch if you expect these miners to get a bounce, which this one didn't get a bounce today at all. All right, so what about some of the big stocks that we like to take a look at on a day-to-day basis? The Teslas, the Netflix, the Amazons. Let's go ahead and take a look at those names and Apples. Amazon traded pretty bullish today. All right, we were looking for the stock to move up. You can see it broke over the 390 level for a quick second, but was not able to hold above that area. If we can get a hold above 390 tomorrow, we'll be looking for Amazon to make its way possibly, I would say, around the 395 or 392 or back up towards those highs at least tomorrow. So keep this one on your radar. It looks pretty good. Apple only up 0.5% today. Flat day for Apple. Not really anything here. They're still fading this one down off this little pivot high that it made up here. All right, still looking for them to fade this one down a little bit more before we see if some buyers come in. All right, what else? What about IBM? Let's talk about IBM because I mentioned this in the weekend review video how we could possibly get them to do like a little fake breakdown in IBM below those lows and then find a big reversal. Well, that didn't quite happen. What ended up happening was that they flashed it towards Friday's lows. They bought that low right up and then off to the races it went. IBM, a little double bottom action here around this 172.57 level. If we could get a break over 178, we could probably see a nice trade up towards this stock in the 180. Again, this has been a stock that has not performed with the other tech stocks, and it's coming into some key levels on the longer time frames. You have it right on top of the 100-day, 50-day moving average on the monthly. You have it sitting right on top of the 200-day moving average right here on the weekly. So you have some big buyers coming in there and buying that technical level. Looks like we'll see if that can hold up going into the rest of the week. IBM looks pretty good. That action we had in T-Mobile and Sprint, that was kind of like a little rumored event they were saying, I believe, this morning. So T-Mobile gave back most of its gains from Friday. Same thing for Sprint. Sprint gave back. Actually, Sprint popped up a little bit today, but it gave back and closed near the lower part of the range. There was some action in AVGO today. Stock gapped up to all-time highs and pulled back in. Let me see. Take a look at the 5 minutes. This thing was a tough stock to trade, I guess you could say. No, I guess for some people it was. I don't know. These stocks that gap up a lot are really sometimes tough stocks to trade, but looks like it did give you some nice intraday opportunity. It gave you a nice little short sell once it broke below 49.20. Then it gave you a nice little chance to get long. So there was some action in this name. I think today was just a day to watch it. Probably tomorrow will be a better and much easier day to trade it. Keep that one on your radar. AIG was in play today as well, but I would say it wasn't in play. It was more like it wanted to chop everybody up. This stock was a stock that I'm pretty sure a lot of people like myself were looking to buy on a dip today, and this thing just could not catch a bid. Just seems like AIG never gives you a clean trade or a trade that you expect to happen. The stock bounced up a little bit, faded down on the 5-minute chart. You can see here, then just kind of just drifted sideways to lower. Really not a stock to focus on today. It looks like, of course, after the fact, you can see that now. But we'll watch that one tomorrow. See if this was actually if it's setting up a little buy the dip opportunity for tomorrow. I'm not really seeing anything there right now. The financials, they were strong today. Goldman Sachs going up there towards the top of the channel. I think that these banks could possibly be setting up for a breakout again at the start of the year. Again, Goldman Sachs has been trading this little big range for about 6 months now. And same way you trade a sideways channel, the same way you would trade this channel that's at a slight angle. If it breaks the top of the range, you're probably going to get a nice little momentum move. If it pulls back and the retest holds, you're going to get that next leg up. So we'll see if that plays out. I'm thinking about playing this with some call options or something. Looks pretty good. Or you can sell some puts on it. But again, banks are strong. Goldman Sachs is one of the main banks out there you want to focus on, along with Wells Fargo, which is holding above the upper 50% channel line there. Which I thought I had the channel. Could have swore I had the channel drawn in here. Was it Wells Fargo? 1 second. So it was Wells Fargo, Citigroup, Bank of America. No, it's Morgan Stanley. Sorry, Morgan Stanley. One of the other stronger banks one of the other banks that are trading pretty strong that you want to focus on here. Trading, holding the upper 50% channel and respecting that 50% channel, which is pretty good. Pulled back a bit today, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, Goldman Sachs was the strongest bank today, along with Wells Fargo, and JP Morgan was up close to 0.5%. Let's take a look at Wells Fargo, which has a nice looking long-term chart here. Wells Fargo not really doing much. A little tight pattern going on here. A little tight symmetrical triangle action going on right now. So we'll see how that plays out. What else here? Let's take a look at some of these high flyers. Netflix. Netflix was down $2.66 today, having some trouble at that 73.6% Fibonacci from this high to this low. All right, having some trouble up there. Just in general, just pulling back a little bit. Let's go and take a look at Tesla. Tesla tried to break past that one. That level. That's Tesla broke over the 145 level. Then had a little bit of a follow through on Friday, but then closed off of its highs, pulled back in. I would say as long as it can hold above 145, look for this thing to start making its way back up higher, as you do have a lot of gaps up here to fill. So this stock may be a nice little stock that could provide you with some nice expansion candles in a couple of days, in the short term or the next couple of weeks or so. Keep an eye on the Tesla, of course. What else here? Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Netflix. See some of these other big cap stocks. Priceline, which is just trading sideways right now, not really doing anything. We talked about IBM, the Facebook, the momentum names that a lot of people are trading right now. The Facebook going back up towards the highs. This one looks like it wants to break out. Again, Facebook has been trading pretty strong, along with Twitter, which put in a little short-term possible topping tail in today. All right, again, this stock's coming all the way from a breakout of 42. Look, people that were looking to buy Twitter, the first buy was right here at 42. The next buy was right when it took out this 46. The next buy was at 50. So it gave you 3 different times to buy and get in. I wouldn't be a buyer up here. Probably wait for it to pull back a little bit. Aside from that, guys, there's a lot of stuff I could talk about, but I don't want to talk throughout this video here for a long time. So again, make sure you come check us out in the chat room, mywallstreettv.com. See what we're doing, see what we have going on. Follow us on Twitter and stock twits at Wall Street Trade, and go from there. One thing I want to highlight before I close the video is this ELG, this energy company that we're expecting to get a bounce. Got a nice little bounce today, even though it did not have any follow through. Keep an eye on it for tomorrow. Have a great day, folks. Cheers.